Welcome back, Out-of-Body Explorers. Today we're going to talk about a story that is connecting to what's happening in the world right now. And in some of my videos, I've been stating the fact that you are going to meet your ancestral self or your ancestry. The out-of-body exploration system that I'm talking about is self-discovery. And so I don't connect with a lot of other people that are telling you the same repetitive stuff online. I'm getting it authentically from who I'm connected to. If this resonates with you, then you're connected to some of these messages. And like I said, I am only giving this information out because of how I have been scribing all of my out-of-body experiences since 1998. And now a lot of it is correcting timelines. And for example, I am correcting timelines with old boyfriends so that our lives are smoothed out. And if I didn't correct them in the out-of-body state, I'm correcting them in the live 3D state. Just like I'm correcting one of my career lifetimes, they're being corrected right now. I left that situation at my last job and have corrected a lot of my timelines because it allowed me to meditate every day. It allowed me to scribe into my journal every night. I was able to have more out-of-body experiences because I had the time, and it also helped me get to Tadakimesis, which was me being the top student as an out-of-body explorer, was so exciting for me. It also let me work with John Vivanco and take his course and work on my remote viewing every day because the practice required you to do so many homeworks a week, and I was able to do that. I'm so multi-dimensional, there's so much to talk about. Okay, so I think everybody needs to know that first. A little bit of my background. I don't know if you remember, I'm an American Peruvian. Both my parents were born in Peru. And when they came to America, there were a lot of very interesting things that happened when they got here. So those are stories in itself. And so I don't know the Peruvian culture the way my family knows it because they were born in Peru. So now here is story time. This is what happened to me on November 17th, 2018. I always wanted to go to the state championships, to the final product. So I went there on my own, drove all the way alone, but I was so exhausted because the season was over. You should always be cleansing the place that you sleep in. As an out-of-body explorer, those dimensions are open, so I would always go into prayer and just cleanse it really quick. I've already been around white wolves, and the white wolf showed up to show me that they were moving me into another dimension. So I follow the white wolf, and they bring me into a gold lake, like a lake pond. They threw me in there, and all I did was stare down at my feet. And as I looked at my feet, I started rolling my feet around. I rolled them around. I was like, this is thick. And I was like, oh my God, it's gold. And as I look up, I see the mountains of Machu Picchu. And they weren't exactly those mountains, but they were as big as those Machu Picchu mountains. So I was standing in it, and they kept telling me about the gold. It's the gold, it's the gold, it's the gold. And so out of nowhere, as soon as I realized I was in some rural area that there was a huge message to, they pulled me back like I was being pulled in a parachute. Now, I did go skydiving, and when they let that parachute up, it's like, whoosh, it pulled you right in the center of your back. And as soon as that happened, the whole place went black. And as soon as it went black, I got pulled, and they had me sit down. I was sitting at a table that was about 10 feet long, and as soon as that happened, I saw a little white light coming right through, and I kept staring at it, and out came a huge, strong looking, ancient Hawaiian looking kind of guy. He was wearing a Hawaiian dress. He had a big gold plate here with like this funny looking hat with some feather coming out of it. And so I say to myself, ooh, this guy's Hawaiian. And sure enough, he sits at the end of the table. He looked like this, so I did draw it right there that he looked like, okay? He had a really strong jawline, and his eyes were really close together. So I thought that was really weird, but I kept staring at those piercing LED blue lights coming right out of his eyes. And so then he actually laughed at me because they were telling me about Ecuador and that Ecuador was going to have an earthquake. And I say to myself, what the heck do I care about that? I'm Peruvian, even though I know nothing about the Peruvian history. And then I had to research that, and obviously the Incas were in control of the entire west coast of South America. So I got a big education that night. And what was so good about it is that not only did he tell me about that earthquake, which did happen a month later. My dad lived very high up in Peru, in the northern area of Peru. So I was more worried that there was going to be something that might have happened with him. Because little did I know, there were ships landing at his place because he had a huge farm over there, which is another video in itself. All right. So in my book I wrote, I thought he was Hawaiian, but he said he was from Ecuador. And the king even laughed at me, which is really funny, because then I said closer. I needed to see those eyes. And this is exactly what I saw. As soon as I got very close, I can see the wrinkle in his eye. I could see the gray matter kind of figure that they had. I felt like he was burnt. I felt like something was definitely different, like the ashes, or something was definitely different from when I got closer to when I was far away. And in the out-of-body exploration system, you just go into direct command, and that's why I was able to get as close as possible. And they allowed me to come there because I'm in constant prayer and protection. His vibration really showed me he was a very, very important figure from the past, and that I was making that connection. And as soon as I realized later on, which is now, and me making these videos, we are all going to be in contact of our ancestral past. We change roles in every lifetime because you need to remember those roles, and then you need to correct them. So I want you to know that as an important message, meeting the Inca King. There are more messages that are occurring in my life, and that's why I keep slowly giving you that, yes, those beings are real. All right, out-of-body explorers, until next week, press like and subscribe, and I will see you then. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, I am going to put another Mary Beaver video up there, because we're going to break down some of the information that she had, because I have some questions that need to be answered. So we will talk about it. We really should just be videotaping our conversations, because we can go for hours talking about the craziest stuff that are all connected to a lot of my out-of-body experiences, especially the Men in Black. I didn't know her so much before that, and then she told me the greatest things. So we definitely have to talk. All right, out-of-body explorers, I'm going to leave one of her videos up here so you can get to know her a little bit more, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Have a great week.